Chances are, if you've tried to aim train, you've either been overwhelmed and confused but powered through and figured things out, or you ended up mindlessly playing Gridshot. Maybe you ended up on some pro or YouTuber or streamer's generic playlist that was Gridshot and then something else that's a bit more helpful like Sixshot, but still not great. This leads to a lot of people saying aim training doesn't work when they're just doing it wrong. The best type of playlist you can have is one that personally works on your issues, and these require you to either have a coach or know what you're doing. So I'd argue the second best type of playlist is the one that covers a lot of issues that most people face. From here, you can then usually tell which scenarios line up with a lot of your deaths in game, and then you can make your own playlist of the first type because you'll figure out what you need to be doing. So what did I do? Well, having aim coached over 100 Valorant players, including Silvers, Pros, and Radiants, I've seen some patterns in how Valorant players aim and what they tend to struggle with, despite not having played the game seriously myself. So I set out to make a playlist for people who want to improve at Valorant but don't want to buy coaching. And in a similar spirit, I decided to use aim labs instead of my preferred Kovaaks, as it is free for everyone, so make a playlist that anyone can play. But I ended up running into an issue. I'm a Kovaaks player. In aim labs, I don't know how to make scenarios, I don't know how to edit scenarios, and I don't even know what the good scenarios are called. Instead of digging through garbage to find good scenarios, I decided to work with a friend, Low Gravity 56, to make new ones. This guy literally makes scenarios for some of the best players in the world as a job, and I got him set up on my new site gamercoach.gg so he could sell the service of making custom scenarios for anyone to buy. If you feel like you struggle with something really specific and there's no scenario to fix it, head on over to GamerCoach, shoot him a DM, and see if he can create something for you. So Low Gravity and I got to work and made 12 new aim lab scenarios. You can use them as a routine played together, you can use some of them to help with your personal routine, or you could do both. The first set of scenarios are tracking scenarios. These are meant to work on a few things, the main one being your ability to move your mouse smoothly and steadily as opposed to tracking with a combination of flicks like most Valorant players. Keep in mind, you still have to move faster than the bot to get on it when you're off it, don't track its shadow. You are also learning to react to directional changes like someone switching strafe directions and precise control, which helps with micro adjustments. The second set of scenarios are dynamic clicking scenarios. Where tracking scenarios teach you the basic smoothness to hit a moving enemy, dynamic teaches you to apply that to a scenario where you only need to hit one shot, like in game. A few tips: don't get fast and flicky, try to focus on steadily approaching the target and letting your crosshair catch it. Make sure to click as soon as your crosshair hits the bot. Make sure you don't end up tracking the bot, accelerate fast enough to get on it, just like tracking. The third set of scenarios are for micro adjustments, basically just hitting people who are close to your crosshair. This is arguably the most important skill for Valorant, but we only have 2 scenarios isolating them. That's because almost every scenario on this playlist will help with micro adjustments. These scenarios just exclusively focus on them. They're very simple. Try to move quickly between the VOTs while focusing very hard on your misses. One of these scenarios has one target to force you to react to a new bot, like you'd react to a person peeking you. The other has 2 targets so that you adjust without reacting, as you would if you were trigger disciplining someone or adjusting after a flick. The fourth set of scenarios are reactive flicking. We have reflex switch, a scenario where you hold down the mouse to try to flick to the bot, and then stay on it to get used to stopping on the target, not just flicking to the target and timing your click properly. We also have the same scenario but in a clicking form to help you practice how you'll aim in game, where you do have to time the click. You might be thinking reflex switch would just be useless then, but that isn't true, as you still want to stop near the person's head if you dink them or miss slightly. Both of these scenarios give you more points for killing a bot sooner, so try to balance speed and accuracy as you would in game. We also have a 1-while-1 target task that still requires you to react but doesn't limit your time. This lets you focus a bit more on technique while still reacting. For the first 2, you will try to flick fast while sacrificing accuracy a lot. For this one, you can be more accurate and have better technique. In a similar theme, our 5th and final set of scenarios are non-reactive flicking. Scenarios designed to force you to flick without reacting. Wide wall 3 targets Pokeball requires you to hold down, like reflex switch, forcing you to stop your flicks completely, while 1 wall 2 targets lets you click like you would with most Valorant guns. Still focus on stopping even though you're not being penalized for not doing so. Other than that difference, just try and work on good technique in both of these. Be quick and be somewhat accurate. One of the biggest mistakes I see Valorant players making on these scenarios is after their flick, they'll end up shaking around and wasting time struggling to stop your mouse. Try to work on it slowing down your mouse and stopping it as quickly as possible, rather than struggling to stop it and shaking and wasting time. A lot of times, having complete visual examples of what good technique looks like can help you understand what good technique is. And if you want that, check out the socials of the great aimers who let me use their footage in this video in the description, along with a link to our playlist. Thanks for watching.